everyone, and thanks for joining me on another Crafty Maven Getaway Hop, where all of us designers from the Crafty Maven Getaway is going to join in on this hop. And it's such a cool hop because Christy came up with this idea where every letter in the Crafty Maven Getaway Hop, YouTube hop, was paired up, and I picked the letter OP. And so I decided that OP would stand for old school paper because we had to use supplies that worked with the letters that we picked. And so I thought, okay, I went through my stash and I found these Fresh and Funky by Basic Ray. Now this is a really old collection. It's from 2005. I think they were the very first ones, if I'm not mistaken, or it was Chatterbox that came out with actual collections to your paper. They were the very first ones, because before that you had to go to the store and you had to pair up your own papers and your own embellishments and die cuts. And so even though there was no other ephemera or anything else to this collection, it was just paper, I challenged myself to use it. And so I already knew the photo I was going to use, and it's going to be of my daughter and her best friends, and they are at the pool. And so when I saw this Fresh and Funky, I thought this is perfect because it's going to be colors that I would use for the pool, such as blues and greens, because I think of the ocean. Obviously more pool water's more blue, not so much green, but when I looked at this one I thought it would be perfect. So you're going to see me go ahead and start creating that layout. Now even though there is no ephemera or anything like that, I knew I had to create my own ephemera and out of the paper that I'm going to use. And so the easiest way to do that is just creating shapes with it. So the first thing I thought of was creating a fishtail banner, and then I'm going to go ahead and layer that up with the polka dot paper you see right there. Now I did mat my photo with some blue paper that was also from that collection, and already this is starting to look like a very summer water layout with the colors that I had picked. Now one thing that I decided to do differently than when this collection first was released back in 2005 is to update the way I would scrapbook. Now looking back on photos, I love Basic Ray and I love the distress look. In fact, I feel that distress has come back because I think of the wood grains and, you know, the rustic look that's making its way into homes and even onto our layouts. And so I feel that distress is back, but I wanted to not make this such a dark layout. So what I did was I took one of the papers that I wasn't really thrilled about, knew that I was never going to use it to scrapbook, which I think it had an orchid, if I'm not mistaken, or some type of flower. Maybe it was a lily. I don't know. I don't know my flowers that well, besides roses. But, well, I know a couple of other ones, but still. I think I just flipped that over because on the other side it's just this white cardstock. And so right there I'm already changing it from how we would scrapbook it within then to more of a modern feel. And so that I'm going to make it very bright and light, and that's what I wanted to do. So with that, I also wanted to use some inks because ink splatters is what we use a lot too nowadays. And so I grabbed some Heidi Swapp. I want to say it's hot pink or fuchsia, I don't know, but it's one of her hot pink lines. I don't even know if Heidi Swapp makes any color shine anymore, but I still have all mine and they seem to last forever. So I'm just adding some drops, and then I was looking for another color to add with it, and I think I go with the navy, yeah, because I'm trying to pair it up with that paper. So again, I'm just taking the papers that I'm using, knowing that I really didn't have any embellishments to go with it, to go with the paper, to add more things to it, to add different textures, and yeah. Okay, so then after I get done with that, I felt like I just wanted more blue and I wanted the papers to be more defined, and that is I'm going to ink the edges in Faded Blue Jeans, I think it's called. And so it's just a distressed ink, one of the originals from Tim Holtz, and that's what I'm going to do with all the papers. Now a little bit of background about this photo. This actually is not for my daughter's album. This is actually for her best friend. So her best friend is in the picture, and she moved out of state a couple days after this photo was taken. And it's kind of been a hard year for my daughter because two of her friends that moved out of the state, and one of them actually moved to a different country. And so Yeah, this is a really big year. I didn't have anybody move away from me when I was little. So I promised my daughter's best friend, because she knew that I scrapbooked, that I would make her an album, and she was super excited about that. So this is her first page in her album. Now again, I'm just trying to create shapes with it, and I ended up using a couple of the tags because that really was the only ephemera we got with this collection. I'm going to use those circle embellishments and just pair that up and add some extra layers. And then on my workspace, because I love just to kind of rummage through what is laying around my work table, I came across this pink tab from a previous layout that I did, and so I thought, you know what, the pink matches the pink right there to the right, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now I'm pointing to this paper because this is a full size sorry, I've done quite a few voiceovers today. Full size paper, and it definitely would be something that I would love to use as the whole entire background. But again, I'm making embellishments and I'm making the title with that. And so I'm going to go ahead and use my old Quick Cuts die. It's funny because I'm starting to see dies come back. I forgot who was it that made it. I know Dearly D had it on her channel, and I had asked her, like, what dies are those? I really like them. And so I think it was American Craft, I don't know. But anyways, the dies are coming back. So I ended up using my Quick Cuts because I never got rid of any of them because that was definitely an investment, and I still use them to make my letters every now and then. So the title is going to be Poolside Cutie. I'm definitely not going to have you have to watch all that as I glue them down piece by piece. In fact, I actually cut the camera off, but I do show you at least an idea of where I was gonna place them. Now I was kind of positioning the photograph, kind of figuring out, do I want it more to the left or more to the right? I actually want it more to the left, and the reason why is I knew, like I said, the house where I was going to house my title was going to be on the right hand side, and I didn't want it to be too crowded. So, and I'll do that here in a minute. Any minute now? I'm trying to think. I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I just, like I said, I haven't had time because I had to create quite a few layouts, and I figured I'd get all the voiceovers done at once. Now, again, like I said, I do have quite a bit of stuff laying on my work table that you don't see. I give you the illusion that it's very clean with the area that you do see that I'm working in, but honestly, it's a big hot mess all around it. And I have these phrase stickers, so I thought, all right, let me try to use one of these phrase stickers, but I really didn't want to cover up the heart. But while I was rummaging through my workspace, I found these scallop banners that I remember fussy cutting out of the Maggie Holmes, one of her papers that she made that was in my paper pad. And so I have still some of them left. I thought, you know what, those actually work really well. I'm going to cut the green out because I really didn't want to add more green to what I already have in those stripes. I wanted to focus more on the pinks, the blue, and the polka dot. Now that one green actually that you see that's more of like a mint green, I'm gonna okay with that one because it has, I want to say it's mint green or it has a little bit of blue to it, so I didn't mind that one at all. Alright, so my title is down, and I'm going to go ahead and glue those down, and I'm trying to think, what else do I decide to do? At this point, I think, what else can I add? Oh, I know one thing I didn't talk about is that star. Now, I told you I went through my inventory, and surprisingly, I don't have a whole lot of navy blue. Now, this had a lot of navy in it, which is why I actually picked this collection, because it had navy and pink, and just about every girl has that in her bathing suit. So I went through and I found this box of crayons, Chamel's, the paper clips, and I thought, let me see if I can actually break that off the star. I did it off camera because I wasn't sure if I was going to actually break the star or not, but it ended up coming off really easily, so I just took it off, and I'm going to glue that down, and that is going to become one of my embellishments. It kind of reminded me of a starfish, and I know this is not a beach picture, but I just really liked how it tied in together with the photo. Right, so then I had this little baggie full of cut-aparts, and I'm telling you, I have stuff all over the place. So this baggie has random embellishments. Most of it is from poolside crepe paper, and then there's like scraps in there, and then some Elle Studio. I think I saw some Studio Calico in there. I don't know what I was doing with it that day. I even had my daughter's first album, that little tag that you just saw. Actually, it's right there. That was when I worked on my daughter's first album, and I didn't work on any poolside crepe paper at that time, so I don't know how it got there, but it did. And so then I thought I'd use this one about, I think it says summer is the best in flip-flops or something like that. I can't really read the quote right now. But I ended up scratching that and decided to use these scallops. And I'm going to place them in a few different places. I almost placed them on the right-hand side and the left-hand side as another layer, but I felt like it crowded it too much on the title. Okay, sorry about that. I literally just had 7 kids running towards my front door, and it was about ready to get loud. And of course, they're like, "Mom, can we give everybody outer pops?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll go get the outer pops." All right, so I was talking about the scallop scraps that I had that was in that little plastic baggie. And so I thought I was going to put them on the side there, and I like that look, but I felt like on the right-hand side, it was just too crowded, which I think I've already said, but all right, and then moving on, I'm going to go back to my original idea, which is to put one underneath the photo and then put one at the top. Now, the only problem that I was having with it being under the photo is one of the scallops kind of has a straight edge in the middle. And so what I had to do is just take my tweezers, lift up the banner from the scallops of the banner and kind of tuck it underneath that. Now, the only hem and hawing that I do here is the fact that I didn't know if I want the scallops on the left or on the right top part of the paper. And looking at it now, I'm so glad I made the choice of having it on the right hand side, because then I feel like everything is over to the left and only the title on the right. And so to me, this gives a little bit more balance, and I like the look of that. Plus, not only that, it kind of gives like a diagonal design where it would look everything down to from the top right to the left. I'm going to glue all that down. And anytime with gluing lately, I have been adding a lot of tacky glue, and the reason why is there's been a lot of talk about things falling off the pages, and I look back on things that I made back in 2000 when I first started scrapbooking, and nothing has fallen off, and that is because at that time I was using tacky glue and I was using glue sticks. And so everything is adhered to that paper almost like cement. It's not moving. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for joining me. That is the end. I do hope I inspired you. Be sure to check out all the lovely ladies in this hop. Their links will be below, and you all have an amazing day. Bye.